What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your daily Astrology Horoscope for Friday, February 10th, 2023. Astrologer Brian Scarborough here, Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. Truly appreciate you all as always. Hope everybody had a good week. Happy Friday. Definitely some feel-good energy this Friday coming into a Moon in Scorpio weekend with some pretty harsh aspects there. But, hey, we take what we can get on this roller coaster, and I'll be honest, I'm pretty down with this astrology today. For what it's worth. Moon's in Libra. It's coming through the middle section here. It's definitely trying to find its justification of life, trying to find its balance. We could have some negotiations that take place, dealing with other people. There's a lot of other people aspect. I've been talking about that a lot. Relationships, how to communicate our emotions, how to express ourselves, how to negotiate our personal life properly. And sometimes the right negotiation is to say no. And I would say that with Mercury now having that exact conjunction early this morning and passing Pluto at this very final, moment of 28 degrees that Pluto's at, and then coming to 29, I mean, we do not want to be manipulated into thinking that our destiny is something that it's not. Like, this is definitely like your destiny is your destiny. We have to find how that works, and people bring a lot to the table, but we definitely want to know what's ours and what isn't ours today. Very important, especially with Chiron in Aries and Jupiter getting close to that Chiron, but the moon opposing that Chiron. We can feel a little weird or a little at ease when we have to make our own decision. So it's very much like we got to be the judge for our life, for our personal life, the direction, our destiny, understanding that there's so much depth that needs to come out and be expressed or just understood within our own psyche about, our own purpose. And again, whether we understand our purpose or not, we don't want to get obsessed over some one purpose too, because we could get lost in just one direction that maybe is or isn't, or has its purpose now, but isn't, forever. I think we're definitely looking into what is this forever aspect, but it comes down to like knowing your soul's character of what it wants, what it's going after, and how to get it. And it can feel a little bit like that's a difficult choice to make, but it is coming to the proper negotiation. It is knowing how to delegate and how to be the judge in your life and come to the balanced, aligned point that is bringing in that beauty and harmony and feel-good energy with every contract that we might have in our life, especially people and relationships. So, very interesting there. The moon is going to also trine the sun, and it won't quite trine Saturn today, but it's right there at this good point. That trine, the sun here in Aquarius is trying to create win-wins. It's trying to see things objectively. It's trying to piece together this crazy, weird puzzle of life, but, make the unique, weird shifts and turns. And, I think we're embracing that we're the aliens here. Humanity is the aliens. And how do we relate back to that, truth that we're trying to understand why we're here all the time, and how to connect the dots in what we do know so that we can put the right foot forward and initiate the balanced connection, the balanced friends, the balanced job, the balanced relationship, all these different things that we form a relationship to in our life, coming to this very, a little bit disconnected from the emotion. But I think with Pluto and Mercury together, the mind is at the depth of emotion with Pluto here. So yes, the moon's in air, the sun's in air, they're in trine. But I would say that there's a pretty concrete emotional understanding that does need to have the gamble dropped on and a decision, and the judge needs to rule in favor of the best case scenario. And you have to remember what that is for you too. Yes, win-wins, but it's also at a place where we can almost, be so suckered into what someone else wants that we want to be aware that that's not just and that's not fair if we're not receiving too, and if we're not doing our purpose or our destiny, whatever that may be, that is in alignment and beautiful and creative. We're also seeing Venus at 18 degrees, so the moon will quincunx over to Venus. It's also going to quincunx Uranus, and there's almost a yod there, but it's not. It's not. But the quincunx is interesting because Venus is exalted and the dispositor of this moon that's in Libra. So interesting, kind of transformational challenges about how to make these delegated decisions, how to still, have compassion, but still be just and fair at the same time. And I think that there's emotion that's going to be felt today, and we want to try and see things from as many different angles as possible. But again, when the scales finally do hit even and you know that they're even in your life, again, you're not going to get your dream and your alignment if it's just about what somebody else may want. So I feel like there is a trick today of like somebody wants you to do something that you don't want to do, and there's almost like a spell cast in some way that's trying to tip your scales in their favor. So be on the lookout for a little bit of trickster energy that could be pulling you in a weird direction or a disconnected place. The connection and what feels aligned and right, you'll know, and that is where you can passionately and instinctively move and understand and speak to and go back and forth with in conversation if necessary. And then, the moon will also make the quincunx to Neptune and the quincunx to Uranus. So I think we're all just dealing with a little bit of far out energy in really weird ways. It's hard to find exactly what it is that holds the most value. It's not like we're in easy, decision territory, but I do think we know on a deeper level what we want and what's separating us from just the mundane, even if you will, to get us to almost like the solid gold. So there is definitely some alchemy taking place today, learning how to be that alchemist in our personal lives to maybe turn lead into gold. Probably not physically, unless you are a super magician out there, and I hope one of you watching this is, but metaphorically turning some situation that may look like lead into gold by knowing your truth, your deep, deep soul truth, and delegating life in that order. And, if shocking things have to be said or understood, then that's just what it is. And we're also learning that we have to let go of certain ways that we thought about things so that we can have the revival of the new sort of plan and story that is taking place. So pretty awesome, but a little edgy with Mercury at 29 degrees and Pluto getting ready to come to 29 Capricorn. There is this sense of feeling on the brink, if you will, and that can make us weigh things out even more with the moon in Libra. But again, we can rise above the clouds and see things clearly if we choose to, and that would be the alchemy I believe I'm channeling to you. And, I don't really have much else to say on this, except for Mars at 12 degrees is getting ready to make that sextile over to Chiron this weekend, and we've been feeling this as the third time, and it's a good one. Mars is the ruler of Aries and Chiron's there, so it disposits that Chiron, and it just went through a retrograde in Gemini where Mercury's the dispositor and it's with Pluto, and they're both the co-ruler of the South Node. So in some weird way, this is definitely a understanding of something that is definitely getting let go of, that really was just a sort of a thorn in our side or a weight that didn't need to be held on to, or something that we've been way too attached to that does no longer make sense in the identification of our empowerment and a big direction or even an aha moment. Because you also have to remember your subjective truth today is so important, and we all have one of those. And again, that's probably the overall message, is don't get duped into someone else's truth just because it sounds good. But I'll be honest, compared to the moon in Scorpio squaring all this Aquarius, today's bomb.com. So I will say that. So I think, really the decisions made today will have a big effect on the weekend, because I almost feel like if you give up your own direction or subjective truth or something that you know is absolutely right for you and what you need to take authority in from deep within and have that really powerful understanding of, then someone's gonna take the power into their own hands, your power into their own hands, and there is a little bit of manipulating energy. So just want to throw that out there. And again, yeah, like I was saying, if you don't this weekend, you'll know for sure this weekend. Wow, the world card again, but this time reversed. Just when we think that we've completed the journey, it's almost like, yeah, we completed a section of the journey, but you got to, I guess, turn around and look back at the totality of everything so that you realize that there's situations in your life that have brought you to these moments in life or days like this where you realize that, you've learned the lesson and now you get to make the decision, right? So whatever shows up, don't make it feel like your world's upside down. Use it to empower yourself to be the delegator of your life. Three of Swords. That's the thing is I feel like we can be pretty attached to an ideal or a thought or something we thought was true, and we might be finding out that it's not. It's not true. It's, we can feel maybe abandoned or betrayed or something maybe it could come up that leaves us feeling, a little stabbed in the heart, if you will. And this is where I think mental authority and power with Mercury, Pluto, and your mental authority is so important so that you're not left heartbroken over someone else's, situation or what their truth might be, especially if it doesn't resonate with yours. So pay attention to where the mind can get manipulated or maybe, almost something like you're feeling bad because you're trying to go start a cycle and, maybe there's something that doesn't want you to and it's leaving you a little down and out. 10 of Cups upright. The ultimate happiness. That's absolutely what we can have if we justify our life. If we delegate it, if we properly negotiate it, and if we become the judge. Throat. Seized up because it's that good with the 10 of Cups, right? So it's all out there for you, but you have to take the power back in your mind to not let situations manipulate you into going backwards into cycles you already completed. It's time to drop the gamble, be the judge, the jury for the verdict of your life that is bringing you nothing but happiness, sunshine, rainbows, love, whatever the story, whatever the magic is to you. Delegate your life to have that. It's very important. And sometimes you have to say no during negotiations. I love you all very much. Hope you have a beautiful Friday, and I'll see you all for the weekend forecast tomorrow. Much love. Peace.